Hi, I'm Rob Boyd, an English photographer from the UK. I decided to create this podcast series talking to international photographers whose work I truly love. I realised I knew nothing about these amazing people apart from their names and their stunning work. So I created a set of hopefully entertaining questions that finds out who they are and what they love. Hi Matt, thanks for joining me. It's nice to see you. Brilliant. So if you can start with your name and your Instagram name, that'd be amazing.
Sure. My name's Matthew Ian Evans and my Instagram is at I am Matty Evans. Does what it said on the tin, really.
Good stuff. And have you got a website?
I haven't got a website. No, it's something that I would like to have at some point in time, but at the moment, costs and everything, I just don't feel it's right at the moment. But one day, one may have one.
Yeah, no, fair enough. It is one of those things. It's just, you got to have a reason to have one, and they're a bit expensive.
Indeed, they are. Yes.
Yeah. So, where do you live?
I live in Basingstoke in Hampshire. So, for those who don't know, Basingstoke is a large, kind of like an overspill town, about 45 minutes west of London. For those in the north, you won't know where it is at all. So I'll say it's near Reading, which is where people seem to know. And those in the south should kind of know where that is. But yeah, large overspill town. Not really much happens there, to be honest with you. It's a bit dead. It's also known as Donut City due to the copious amounts of roundabouts that they have here.
Absolutely. Now, I bought my first CB radio, and that's going back. It shows how old I am, in Basingstoke. And I got lost for about 45 minutes on all those roundabouts you're talking about. So I know exactly where you are.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. And believe me, there's a lot more now than there used to be. So they keep adding to it, which is a bit of a weird one. But hey, it seems to work for the town, right?
Yeah, as long as it works, that's the main thing. Cool.
Indeed.
And where are you from originally?
I am actually born in Basingstoke. I haven't had a chance to escape Basingstoke yet. But no, I was born here. I've lived here all my life. I've got family all here. So yeah, it's a place I call home.
Why move? That's the thing. There's no point, really.
Exactly.
So if I visited you, where would you take me to shoot?
Okay, so for me, I'm a huge fan of London. You can probably see in amongst my work, most of it, if not all of it, is London. So for me, when I go to London, I do things a little differently. So some people I know would probably go to one or two areas and stay there. For me, I like to roam. I like to go on these big, long walks, of probably from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening, covering anything between 13 and 18 miles on foot. So visiting through Westminster, central London, through the east of London, Canary Wharf as well. Anyway, really, I kind of always look when I go to these photo walks to visit somewhere new and somewhere that I've never been before. So the last time I did one of these walks, I ended up taking a little womble down to Shoreditch and Brick Lane, somewhere I've never been before and I've heard so much about. So I had a little wander around there, ended up getting lost, which was, as you do on these walks, you make mistakes, you see these areas and then you think, actually, is it back that way or back that way? So yeah, it was Brick Lane was wonderful, but I always try and make sure I visit somewhere new, or at least take in somewhere different. Just something I like to do, really.
No, I get that completely. And like I say, because the thing is, I tend to go for one whole long day rather than just do, because obviously for me it's further away because I'm in Wiltshire, but you're obviously a little bit nearer, it's a bit easier on the train or whatever. But yeah, no, I get that. Brilliant. So where you are now then, are there any places to visit as a tourist?
For Basingstoke, if you like skydiving, we have an iFly, which is where you can go and do some like virtual skydiving kind of thing, or like being one of them like tubes. Other than that, Basingstoke, if you like Jane Austen as well, the town is, known for Jane Austen as well. Other than that, not really. It's a bit of a boring town, really. There's nothing really that goes on here, which is probably why I spend most of my time up in London.
Skydiving sounds all right. Yeah, skydiving sounds good to me. That sounds pretty cool. They're quite hard from what I understand, though. Actually, when you're trying to float, you have to be really minimal from what I understand when you're trying to stay afloat on those things.
Yeah, you've got any sort of slight movement knocks you off into the side. So it's something that, a little bit of skill to it. But yeah, I think that's probably the highlight of the town, really.
Well, there you go. It's good fun. Why not? Brilliant. So what's your favourite destination in the world? Where do you love the most?
London. And it's the answer that I know many people will give, but it's a place that's close to my heart. So I have always remembered from a young boy going to London. I was a season ticket holder once upon a time of Leyton Orient Football Club, who are based in East London. So I was a season ticket holder since the age of 11 through to, don't go so much now, but for a good solid 20 years, London's been something that I've regularly visited every other weekend, basically. It's been part of my life, part of my childhood growing up. And for me, it's the greatest city in the world.
Yeah, brilliant. Leyton Orient, right?
Yes, indeed. There's not many fans of us, and we've had some ups and downs as a fan. Many playoff finals lost, and yeah, we don't do so well in the league. But it's one of them things whereby it's just part of my family heritage, really.
And more community led as well. I should think it's not so much of an issue with fighting and stuff. I'm sure as much anyway.
No. It's a very much a family club. It's a very nice atmosphere. You can kind of see the same people, and you can have a good chat with people in the stands. It's just a lovely vibe.
Perfect. So, where would you like to visit in the world? What's on your bucket list?
Well, I'm not well travelled. I've only been in and around Europe to a few places: Barcelona, Amsterdam, Paris. Holidays to the islands of Mallorca, Menorca, that sort of thing. Standard package holiday. I'd love to go to New York. I'd love to go to anywhere in America, but for me, New York is on the top of the bucket list. You see it so many times in movies, New York, and you think, wow. For those who have been there, I'm sure they'll always want to go back. Every time I chat with someone who's been to New York, they always say they want to go back. They want to revisit it, and because they haven't seen it all. For me, I'd just love to see it for myself. I've seen it on the screen. I've seen it in photos. I just want to see it for myself and experience it, or experience the vibe, the city that never sleeps. It'd be brilliant.
Yeah, and I think you'd have to do the 8-hour thing as well. Just go for 8 hours at a time with a camera in your hand, just click away until you're knackered.
Exactly. Click away till there's no more battery left, and then just keep going and going.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, brilliant. So, if you could time travel, where and when would you visit?
I'd love to time travel back to 60s London. As someone who sees London in the modern day, I hear so often from my dad about what London was like in the olden days. Him growing up, and I'd love to witness it before the technology, before the vape shops and all the weird, what is now on the London high streets, just to see London bustling for what it was, the groovy era, the mods, scooters. It would just be amazing. It would be one of them things you'd just want to just repeat over and over again. It'd be fantastic.
No. And you get glimpses as well when you go to certain areas. You've got like Bar Italia, you've got Ronnie Scott's, you've got kind of these traditional kind of places. A bit of Denmark streets left where they used to buy all the guitars like Jimi Hendrix and that lot. But yeah, you can see remnants of it, and you think, yeah, actually, that would be pretty cool.
Exactly. You'd love to see all that side of things, on a larger scale as well, So instead of just seeing the odd one, the one Ronnie Scott, you'd be able to see similar sort of like bars in and around it as well. It would just be such a vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. No, totally get that. Brilliant. So if you could photograph anyone in history, who would you shoot?
So for me, I'm a huge sports fan. Any sport on the telly, I always end up just watching it. Growing up, I've always loved my sports. So where you've got like for football, you've got your stars like Messi, Ronaldo, Pele. You've obviously got your baseball, you've got your motor racing. For me, there's one sports star that for me stands out heads and shoulders above the rest, and that's Michael Jordan. The legend that is Michael Jordan. For me, he's taken basketball from what was something which Americans loved to what the world now loves. The man himself, I've watched the Netflix series The Last Dance. I already loved the guy anyway, and then watching that, learn about his career, what he pushed himself through when he grew up. He didn't have a lot of money. He obviously grew up, without privilege, and he turned himself into a phenomenon, a megastar. He's taken a sport and he's dragged it through to where it is now. And it's after that as well, when he has retired, he's reinvented himself as a businessman and now gives back he invests in in small teams and invests in other sports as well to try and pass on his knowledge.
Yeah, good choice. Yeah, I think you've inspired me to watch that now because I've not actually seen it. So that's a good choice.
It's really good, and for me, it's the fact that I think if you got him in a room, he seems like quite a character. You could sit, he smoked cigars, lots of outlandish clothing. You'd be able to get some knowledge out of him, I think, and it would be knowledge you'd hold and you'd cherish for a lifetime, I'd say.
So, tell me a fun fact or a story about yourself.
So a fun fact about myself. Other than I support a random football club, well, not a random football club, but a small football club. I'm a keen runner. I do regular runs. I run probably about between 10 and 15 miles a week. It's a journey that I started about, I'd say 4 or 5 years ago when I was struggling in life mentally and physically, and I thought I needed to turn myself around. So I decided to go to my local park run. I will shout out park run because it's one of them things that really helped my life and turned it around. It's a free event, for those who don't know, a 5K run, which is held across the UK every Saturday at 9 o'clock. Started going along to them, and then that progressed to getting the bug, and the bug for running, and then I ended up joining a local running club in Basingstoke. And from there, I've managed to turn my fitness around, lose 4 stone, run half marathons, 10Ks, 10 miles. And just, looking back on it, it's changed my life and it's opened myself up to loads of opportunities, made loads of friends as well through it. And yeah, it's just become a big part of my life now. And I'd encourage those who do run and those who do exercise, get along to your local park run. It's a superb community-led event. They've got loads across the country. I think they've got at least a dozen in Wiltshire. They've got about 40 across London and the southeast as well. And it's just, superb. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, brilliant. And well done. Bloody hell, 4 stone. That's incredible.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's a small child, that is.
It is indeed. It is indeed, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Well done. No, brilliant. Excellent. Yeah, good fun fact. And, well done on you. Excellent.
Thank you.
So it's a bit random, but what's your favourite word?
Favourite word. So my favourite word is limitless. So for me, while life, you do have, obviously, no reset button. For me, life is limitless. You have got the power to control your own narrative. You've got the power to do what you want to do. And normally, from my own experience, it's you holding you back. So for me, no life can be held back, and you should be, always try and do what you want to do. Don't have limits. Don't put limits on yourself.
Great word. Excellent. Brilliant. So, because it's an international podcast, teach me a new word or a saying that I may not know.
Okay, so for this one, it would be unapologetically you. So there's so many people nowadays that try and change themselves, whether it's slightly or they change it for the wrong reasons, they change for someone else. So for me, I'd say you always got to be true to yourself, especially in, the creative space. So many people nowadays will adapt and change to fit a narrative, to fit something which they believe, or someone else, obviously has come in and said, this is the way to do things. Don't. Be true to yourself, be unapologetic to you, and don't be sorry for being you, because each of us in this world are individual, each of us in this world are different, and we should celebrate it. We should celebrate individuality. So yeah, for me, my saying is be unapologetically you.
Yeah, spot on. Love it. It's brilliant. So when did photography click for you? Obviously, excuse the pun, but what moment did you realise you could take a good photo?
Okay, so for me, it was when I went along to my first ever photography event. So there's a group called the UK Shooters who are quite big in the UK, obviously. And they hold every year a Halloween event. So they get a bunch of 100-odd creators, 10 to 12 models. Now we're up to 20 after the last event, but a dozen models. Really cool event, really cool space in London. Normally, it was held at Wapping in this old disused power station in the middle of Wapping. It was a weird place, but it was when I was in a room of creators, with my phone, shooting alongside some really, really well-known creators that I had seen on Instagram but never actually met in the flesh. And it was when I was taking photos, I was getting some really positive comments from people that I idolized, people that I'd kind of like seen their work and gone, bloody hell, you're good. And they were saying, you know, you're really good, and expressing the gratitude and how much they like my work. And it was at that point where I thought, I'm actually quite good at this. I actually know what I'm doing. So it was a real kind of like moment for me where I thought to myself, you know, you are creative. You can take photos. You are good at what you're doing. And it was certainly out of my comfort zone, because it was that point then I'd never actually done any sort of portraits before. So it was a real kind of like push out, because I'd always before that just done, you know, street photography. So I thought I'd try something different and ventured into this room of really, really talented creators, and I held my own. And it was just a really, really nice thing, and heartwarming to hear people who, like I said, have essentially, you know, been a part of my journey, who I've kind of looked up and idolized, saying to me, you know, you're very, very good. It was fantastic.
And on a phone as well, because most of us use our phone as a backup, you know, and we don't use it as, there's not many of you out there that use your phone to that, you know, especially with that skill level as well. So yeah, I can see where that's coming from. So yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, the photography community are brilliant. I mean, they don't just blow smoke up your backside. They tell you if something's good, they'll let you know. They won't just say for the sake of it, you know. And the thing is you know when the praise is genuine, because it's people that you think, well, they don't have to say that, and they wouldn't if it wasn't true. So yeah, brilliant. So what's your favorite 3 photos you've taken, and why do you like them? I know it's not easy.
It's not easy, no. But for me, my 3 favorite photos I keep pinned at the top of my Instagram as a reminder of the journey that I've been on. So I'll go from left on my Instagram from left to right. The first one is it's a set of photos that I took with a model called Alyssa Taylor, and it was my first photo shoot that I did outside of an event. So before that point, I'd only ever done photography or portraits at an event. I was lucky that Alyssa reached out and commented on some of my work, and as a courtesy, I respond to everyone who messages me saying they like my work. I respond back, you know, saying thank you and everything. And we got chatting, and it ended up being a case of, actually she wanted to shoot with me, which was great. Bit nervy, you know, one man going out with his phone trying to shoot a model in the middle of London. It was an experience, to put it that way. So we ended up choosing, I think it was Leake Street. So for those who don't know where Leake Street is, it's a graffiti tunnel underneath Waterloo. And if you haven't been there, I highly recommend you check it out. It's always changing. I think it's the only place in London where it's legal to do graffiti down there. So yeah, the vibe is ever changing, the art is ever changing, and it was just an opportunity just to shoot with a model in the middle of London in the summer. It was really, really good. Really enjoyed it, and the photos didn't come out, you know, too badly either. The second photo was one which was a shot I took a few years ago now, outside Embankment Station, where you have one side the florists, which is still there, and the other side you've got a coffee shop. So it was one of them situations whereby I was one of my photo walks, walking back. It was sort of like 6 o'clock time. The sun was going down, nightfall was just starting to appear, and I just took this really, really nice photo of the lights on either side, and of the lights either side of the tube station, and you had the lights on the florist and the lights from the coffee shop. Uploaded it to Instagram, and it took off. I ended up getting about 10,000 views in 6 months, which was, for a small-time creator like myself, quite humbling, really, that so many people liked it. So that's a reminder for me that, you know, even a photo that you think is just mediocre, for many people, they actually really liked it. So that's the reason why it's one of my favourites. And the last one was a photo that I ended up getting featured by the guys at Front Photography. So Front Photography are a online shop that sell photos for people, for small-time creators. And the photo is of a look-up shot in the middle of central London, in the city of London. So behind, I believe it's Bishopsgate, there's this lovely little look-up shot where you can get all the buildings surrounding the. If you look up, you can see obviously the buildings looking up. And there's a lamppost that goes straight through the middle. So for me, it was a case of looking up, stepping back a little bit, and getting the shot. And I thought it was quite a good shot. And it's one of them shots that for years, I was wanting to try and find the location. I was desperate to find it. I'd seen so many people talk about this shot. I eventually found it, and it was, it was just the fact that I'd actually found it, and then to have it featured as well was quite humbling as well. And it was one of them experiences whereby if you ever are walking around London and you want to find something, just ask someone, because I could have quite easily asked someone, and then if someone would have known where it was.
And brilliant. Yeah, absolutely perfect. So what advice would you give a new photographer?
So the advice I'd give, it's a bit different for me because I only shoot on mobile. But for me, as a mobile photographer, I'd say that you have so much power in your pocket nowadays. Use it, enhance it. I think modern smartphones nowadays, while they're no camera in terms of like some of the quality you can get from a main camera, you can get some pretty good stuff out of a camera in your pocket. And so there's so many people nowadays who use their phones to kind of like, take photos of dinner, selfies on the bus, that kind of thing. If they were to step out and use it for photography and try and push themselves, they'd find that actually they could do it too. So I'd say for those who are wanting to try photography, you don't have to spend £3,000, £4,000 on a new camera. You don't have to spend essentially any money on a camera because you have a pretty good camera in your pocket anyway. So I'd say if you're new, try starting out taking the shots on the phone. And if you do decide it's for you, then you maybe want to venture into photography properly and you buy yourself a camera. But for me, I'll stay true to myself and I'll stay true to the phone in my pocket. It's my niche.
Yeah, no, perfect. And what I love about the camera, because it's waterproof as well, you can dunk it in a puddle. So you can shove it upside down. Yeah, get some good reflection shots, get some, crazy kind of flip shots and stuff, just, because it's more versatile than most of us have. Mine's not even waterproof, my thing. It wouldn't, my camera. So yeah, definitely, you can be a bit more adventurous with it. Yeah, good advice.
The quality of the stuff you get out of them nowadays, I mean, years ago, when I first started shooting on an iPhone 13 Pro, compared to a normal camera, there was a bit of a difference. You could quite easily tell. But nowadays, the stuff I'm on a 17 Pro now, so the stuff I'm getting out of it is pretty remarkable for something which is literally in my pocket.
What's next for you? What's your photography goals going forward? What you fancying doing next?
So for me, I always try and self-improve, self-educate all the time. For me, it's important to never stand still, to always keep pushing forward. So for me, I've had so many people say to me, you're good, get yourself a camera, get yourself a proper camera. But for me, I'm going to stay true to myself. I started on mobile. It's my niche. It's something that I've always backed myself on. And there's so many techniques. There's so many different things I haven't tried with the phone yet. I'm going to try and push on with them. And I think as well, it's, for me, breaking the stigma of phone photography, because while the photography community and while photography, they allow you to have mobiles and stuff, and I think it's brilliant, there's still a little bit of a stigma around it. I think people still think with phone photography of it being like the old classic VGA cameras back in the days where it was like pixelated photos coming out of them. And for me, with the work that I'm doing and the work that I produce, I get so many people saying to me, what camera did you use? And I'm like, well, it's just the camera in my pocket, it's my phone. And then they start, really? It can't be. And then you show them and they're like, actually, this is bloody brilliant. And then they think to themselves, actually, I could do that with my phone. I don't have to carry my main camera around with me. I have got a perfectly good backup in my pocket. So for me, it's just breaking the walls down of mobile photography and trying to inspire the next generation.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, that's the thing. That's why I wanted you on as a guest, because I thought, bloody hell, you're doing that with a phone. most of us struggle, and it's, it works great. It's absolutely brilliant, and because you're happy with it. I think I know one other photographer. I think it's Shaz. I think he's in London. He uses an iPhone. He's the only one I know that uses a phone, and it's great to be unique. It's nice to be different completely, and get great results. So well done. Pat yourself on the back.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No, not a problem. Well, thanks for being my guest. That flew by. Went really quick. And I'm glad we can make it work.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.